It was a bloody spree the night of November 12, 1961. When the captain of a yacht was rescued in the Atlantic Ocean, he told a story about how everyone else perished when the yacht sank. Then, one of the other members of the party, an 11-year-old girl, was rescued and told the truth. A prominent optometrist from Green Bay, Wisconsin, named Dr. Arthur Duperrault, who was 41 at the time, dreamt of making the journey from Fort Lauderdale to the Bahamas as he did during his service in World War II. A total of 7 people boarded the yacht: his wife Jean, son Brian, and daughters Terry Jo and Renee, as well as his friend and captain Julian Harvey and his new wife Mary Dean. Everything was going well until the 5th night. The idyllic trip turned into a nightmare. Terry Jo was sleeping in the cabin when she heard screaming and stamping above her. She heard the sound of her brother Brian yelling, "Help, Daddy, help!" She was paralyzed with fear. But eventually, she summoned the courage and went upstairs to see what was happening. There, she saw her mother and brother lying on the floor with blood all over. She then saw Harvey walking towards her. When she asked what had happened, he slapped her in the face and told her to go down below deck. Harvey came in with a rifle to the sight of water rising to the bed. He left the cabin possibly believing the water would eventually drown Terry Jo. Terry Jo went back up when she observed the whiff of oil and water dripping through the floor. Harvey had unlocked the yacht's flaps to sink it. When Terry Jo went up to the deck, she asked Harvey if the ship was sinking. He replied yes, and handed her the rope to the dinghy for reasons unknown. But Terry was so shocked to see her sister's lifeless body in the dinghy. She let go. Harvey jumped into the water, possibly to retrieve the dinghy, and floated off. Terry Jo never saw him again. Left alone, Terry Jo remembered the single life raft aboard the vessel and rowed it off. For 84 grueling hours, she was left alone in the water of the Bahamas. She suffered from hypothermia at night and the harsh, broiling sun in the day. And of course, she had no food or drinkable water. A Greek freighter named the Captain Theo was sailing around the Bahamas when the second officer saw something floating in the ocean. At first he thought it was debris, but a closer look revealed that it was a person. As you can imagine, everyone was shocked. There, floating in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, was a tiny white raft holding a little girl. No one knew the horrors Terry Jo had faced. On November 12th, Harvey had drowned his wife and stabbed the rest of Terry Jo's family to death while she was asleep. He likely killed his wife Mary to collect her insurance policy. Mary probably put up a fight, attracting the attention of other passengers. Terry Jo's father witnessed him killing her, so Harvey killed the doctor and then proceeded to kill the rest of his family. When Harvey was rescued, he told the Coast Guard the yacht had broken down while he was on a dinghy, and he told a wild tale of a sudden fire and a broken mast that took everyone on board. He was still with the Coast Guards when he heard that Terry Jo had been rescued. Harvey reportedly stammered when he heard the news. "Oh my God, why, that's wonderful," he said. The next day, Harvey killed himself in a motel room. Dark secrets of his were unraveled. 12 years prior, he had survived an accident which killed his previous wife and her mother when the car plunged into 15 feet of water. The officer and the diver who investigated the case believed it unlikely Harvey could have escaped uninjured without having been ready to escape the car at the right moment. Before this, his yacht and powerboat had also sank under suspicious circumstances, resulting in a large insurance settlement. No one quite knew why he killed Terry's whole family and not her, but it is believed when he asked Terry to hold the line to the dinghy while he went to grab something, he was actually going to grab something to kill Terry with. Some others believe it's because Harvey wanted to get caught. Do you think he planned on killing her, or was he waiting for her to die at sea? Terry Jo spent 11 days in a Miami hospital but had no permanent injuries. The Greek freighter captain who rescued Terry Jo explained to the Coast Guard investigators the difficulty of seeing a white raft bobbing on a white-capped sea. In closing the investigation in 1962, the Coast Guard recommended that the body of a buoyant apparatus, life rafts, and lifeboats be painted or otherwise colored international orange. This regulation was adopted and implemented by the Coast Guard. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more like it, please consider subscribing or liking. It really helps my small YouTube channel out.